Hello and welcome to 304 BB Hits Gym in the Mountain. This is Slim Red and I'm here with Amy Lee. She is going to be a new
Hello.
co-host on a series this year for 2019 that we're going to be running called the 304 Files, and also a different podcast called Unsolved Appalachia. And we're going on to a true crime kick.
It's gonna be fun.
Right. And we've been researching active serial killers, the Highway of Tears, which is Highway 16 that runs through British Columbia, Canada, and down into Oregon, Washington, and those Montana and Utah, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah. So, and also some of the historical aspects of serial killers and through the years, and we're going to try to profile them ourselves, hopefully, and also talk about the missing people. And
So just like a little bit of everything pretty much is what it's gonna be. And just our thoughts on it and I don't it's gonna be interesting. I can
this is
say
going to
that,
be
yeah.
fun.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for it. So yeah.
Okay, so Amy was just sitting here telling me about who?
It's Carl Pan's Ram, I think. I don't know. It's like I think it's German. Like, forgive me if I get anything wrong in the details. I'm telling the legend more than
I had to download a How You
yeah.
Say app.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Pronunciation app.
But he was like I might even have the date wrong, but I think like 1920-ish, maybe a little earlier. And I was just telling you like how brutal of a badass son of a, like
Yeah.
he's a monster, but don't
Did
get
they
me
say
wrong.
what he looked like?
Big, like, stocky guy. I'm pretty sure he was balding, but that just means he had extra testosterone, like,
Mm-hmm.
don't let, yeah. Kind of, I think he was like an iron worker. So, I mean, he was built, but he would, rape men, women, children. Like, that was just the normal stuff, but like, there was times, because like, he was also a thief, so there was times, like, I think he went to Africa at one point and had like an expedition. He was going to go hunt alligators. And he had, I think, like, 8 to 10 like African men with him. They were like his guides. Okay, so like he murdered and raped all of them, like slaughtered them all, and then fed them to the alligators. Like that's just one thing. Yeah, like he was wow.
Wow.
Yeah, like he was, and then his prison years were
So he had to,
horrible. And
but had money. So he got caught for that, or he eventually got caught, or
well,
he's
yeah,
just
no,
in
I think it
prison.
was no. He eventually got. I think he got caught for something else, like because he was just a criminal too.
They should have
Like
hung
he was
his
just
ass.
a.
Yeah.
I'm pretty. They did, and really famous for telling the guy who was hanging him like, "Hurry up, you hoser bastard! I could have hung 10 men by the time or something like that." I'll get the details better, but something. Yeah, no, but yeah.
So that's going to be one of the guys we're going to look at. I want to try to stay away from the mainstream ones like
right,
Ed
like
Gein and Gacy and
Dahmer,
Holmes, right?
Bundy, Gates,
Because
yeah,
we know enough about
Zodiac,
them.
yeah.
Yeah. And like they just caught the real Night Stalker,
Yeah,
not
the
the
original Night Stalker or
not
whatever.
the
See, I
Ramirez
haven't really
guy.
heard. So
Hmm.
what do you know about? Yeah, because I
I
haven't
don't really
really.
know anything about it. I just was reading along there
Okay.
that they had caught him. So maybe we could take a look at him.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Well, obviously, because
yeah.
we don't know, so
I don't think I
we're
have him
gonna
written
find
down.
out. But I
Yeah.
did see that in headlines and stuff. The original, which I don't get. What's up with the name? Why is he the original Night Stalker if they just instead
Oh
of
my
Richard
goodness.
Ramirez being the Night Stalker? That's what I want to know. Because I think his name's weird, and we could even talk about like serial killer like nicknames, like
And different, yeah.
Bluebeards and
We always tend to think of serial killers as being a white male.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's
And
yeah.
we should take, each country has their
Oh
own
yeah.
select group of serial killers.
And we can even
And
kid
I
serial
think it
killers.
isn't that we tend to only focus on that. That's what the media. Missing people, which we are going to do segments.
On like possible victims or just missing people in general.
Yeah,
That when then we could even speculate
and talk to some of the families that have the Golden State Killer.
Okay.
That's who he was. June 74 to 1986, and he was a cop.
Mm.
Yeah,
What's his name?
ex-cop,
Gerard some?
D'Angelo,
No? Huh, I haven't heard of
something
him.
D'Angelo.
And that's crazy. Like, serial killers that are cops or like the ones that are nurses or...
That's who I think the I-70 killer
Ooh,
is, a
that's scary.
military
That's
person,
scary.
because he executes them
Yeah, okay.
and he makes it look like a robbery. And he also has switched up his MO, I feel. Um, and we'll get into that's who I was researching was the I-70. But he's an active one. He still hasn't
Okay.
been caught.
That's cool too. No, it's...
Right. So what was this guy's name? Joseph James D'Angelo. He's 72 years old now.
Oh, wow.
He went on a 12-year killing spree.
I wonder what made him
They
stop.
matched his DNA with the murders
Wow.
of somebody in 1980. 2 women in
That's
1980.
cool. There was somebody else I seen that was like that was older when they got caught. Because they didn't have the DNA technology. You know, I think that's cool that they don't give it up. And you know, that they preserved it for after all these years and he's finally going to face justice.
Yeah, that's why I think that hopefully maybe we'll be able to reach out, if anything, in phone calls and try to get in contact, like, and especially with the local law enforcement around
Right, okay.
here, who's well, been involved. I mentioned his name. I won't say who.
No, because when you said that, when I was doing a little bit of research, I seen his name on a couple of the things I was looking at too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but we are going to talk about where we might feel some connections, especially with this redhead killer.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the butcher possibly being, or who?
It was the Mad Butcher, I think it's what, or James Childers.
Yeah.
That's
I want to say they called him the
2009.
butcher. Yeah.
Like, maybe they did.
Um,
Because I didn't see any, like, I don't know. Yeah, he
I
was
have
like
it written on the
Braxton.
back of all
Yeah,
this
that's what I
shit.
was looking at too.
Yeah, it's all scattered around. And we've also got a map of all the cluster murders of the interstate. So right now, the most active serial killers is long haul truckers. So they like we were talking about the trail tiers and blah blah blah. I don't know. I don't think I got it written down anywhere.
You got the redhead killer person?
Yeah.
You got yeah.
But I'm in about fame.
I mean, heck, we could even get into like
and the
some
co-eds.
of
Yeah.
the ghost stories that go along
Right.
with the serial killers around here. Because there was another. I don't think it was serial. I just think it was a murder though. But there was another ghost story I seen today when I was looking at stuff. But I don't remember her name now. So yeah, irrelevant.
Yeah. So Brian Stewart was also involved in Stephen Barry's disappearance. He was a college student from Fairmont State in 1986 who just up and disappeared, and they found his car at Pittsburgh airport, but there was no signs of anything he shouldn't have left. Nothing. Like there was no signs. So there's a couple of you there.
Right.
And a woman who was murdered in 2011 here in Fairmont. There's been several of them, and we were talking about Fame Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
They just shed light on her case in 2017 was the last time the news had mentioned her.
Really? See, yeah. I'd even forgotten about her.
Mm-hmm.
And do you ever think about, like, the victims? Like, not, you know what I mean? Like, they live their lives just like we're living ours up until the day they were murdered or whatever,
it's
you
like
know?
Being
so,
arrested.
Or it's like already being, like, you're just living to die, you know? Like, it's weird. I don't know. It's hard for me to, but I like, feel for them, you know? Like, because they get to live on in a different way.
I couldn't imagine.
You know, they're in a way, they're immortal because of, we're still, you know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, you trade your life for that, I guess, in a way, the way we, you know, idolize serial killers and that, I don't know, the legend, you know, and all that.
I think that I watched all that. So, like, I fall asleep to Forensic Files.
I do too, yeah.
And it's like the man's voice is so even and monotone that it's
good to sleep to.
Go. It is.
Yeah.
And I think.
Yeah.
Ian, yeah. I even listened to it in a car. And Ian, like, there for a while in the beginning, a couple years ago, he was always talking about murderers coming and getting him and this and that. And he was
Aw.
always like real scared. I said, "What are you doing? What's wrong? Where are you getting this shit?"
Because
And then I realized
no, I
always
watch
in the
Deadly Women
background.
so much that Janie sings the weird
Yeah.
but Janie sings it and then claps and says yay
Yeah.
when the song's
I
over.
watched them all
And
too.
Mina, I'll see her sneaking in the middle of the night and closing my laptop because she's hearing
tired,
that.
Yeah, she's tired
Like
of
while
listening
I'm
to that
asleep,
shit. That's what
yeah,
Matt
like
does.
listening to murder, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I'm right there with it.
Yeah.
And I can't help it. And then I thought to myself, I think that I do it because it reminds me that the world is real.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah.
And I think that's
And you do have to be afraid and all that kind of stuff. In a way, like
yeah, and like this is very real, and there's these things going on. There's this evil that's real present, and I know that people like to turn their heads and not pay attention to it. But I think that's why none of these people are being found, is because everybody wants to turn their head.
and it's not
and
really reported. Like
No,
you
and
have to look for it instead of hearing about it.
And there's more and more podcasts. There's another guy who did the redhead murders from West Virginia, and his podcast is Out of the Shadows. It's also on Spreaker.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And he also does things where he was, he talks about how he used to be homeless once, and real down to earth dude.
Nice. That sounds like it's worth a listen.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna play a song real quick, and yeah.
We'll be back.
This is Black Number One by Typo.
Happy birthday, Pete.
Yes, it is his birthday. He died, right?
Yeah, he died. Yeah, he would have been
That's what I
57 today.
Yeah. And how did he die?
I'm pretty sure I do. Alcoholic.
Remember his Bread and Play Girl?
Yes, I do.
We was
very,
in high
very
school looking
vividly.
at that, like,
that was the first man thing I ever seen.
I know,
it was
right?
Peter Steele,
It's
like
so
all hail
huge.
the god. And what kind of name is that?
I know.
Yeah,
Peter Steele.
Peter Steele. Oh, I seen his appearance on Jerry
birthday.
Springer with groupies.
Mm-hmm.
It's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, he was so beautiful.
Oh,
man.
that man. Oh.
Happy birthday. She's in love with herself. She likes the dark. And on her milk white neck, the devil's mark. Now it's All Hallows Eve. The moon is full. Will she trick or treat? I'll bet she will. She's got a date at midnight with nose for a two. Oh baby, Lily Monster ain't got nothing on you. Well, when I called her evil, she just left. Well, cast that spell on me. Boom, witchcraft. Yeah, you wanna go out, 'cause she's ready to go away. You can't go out, 'cause the rules are showing how you're blind. Ooh, now you're blind. Run, 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 no more. She doesn't run, 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 no more. Loving you, loving you, loving you was like loving the dead. It was like loving the dead. Loving